Diddy really screwed up, and I'm not referring to his criminal trial, which has him sitting in prison right now, but it has to do with something that happened right before he got arrested. If you've seen the Netflix documentary about Diddy, Diddy The Reckoning, which 50 Cent produced, there's some footage there that had never been seen before. This is a photographer that Diddy hired to follow him around and document his life. That footage ended up going to 50 Cent.
And maybe that's what Snoop went through. I don't know. But let the people know, because it was too early back then. You know, Pac just had died.
So this one night, 50 called me up and, you know, they got him on the phone, man. He was just talking. We was talking about old time shit, you know, sit down with Black Hands, sit down with, you know, with Puff Kids, the whole Puff situation, and this documentary that he's going to be.
This audio from Suge Knight. It's from his podcast with Dave Mays, and he's speaking on, you know, Tupac and Snoop being cool, and how, you know, after Tupac got killed, Snoop started hanging out with Diddy. And, you know, he also speaks on how, you know, Snoop, he did the Steve Harvey show with Diddy after Tupac got killed. Check this out.
Okay. Let's download right now.
Then you look at the scenario how everybody used Pac to make their stuff famous or make their project better. You got people who use their songs for Pac and tell them how much they love Pac, but they do songs for Puffy. You got Steve Harvey, old big ass, you know, this motherfucker telling, well, Pac, according to everybody else, he brings Snoop and Puffy on there and say, these are dudes who's running this in the East Coast, West Coast.
What's up, Snoop?
What's up, huh? Hey, whoa. Wait a minute, fellas here. Hold on. You know, I know all about this East Coast, West Coast rivalry thing here, but we in Chicago now. This rivalry stuff, we gotta stop it, man. We stop that, we stop a lot of this violence.
Yo, Steve, check this, man. All that East Coast, West Coast stuff is a bunch of media hype. It's been my dog from day one, you know what I'm saying? It's all good between me and him. That's my people.
Real, that's what we came in for. We came in to light it up and ride it up. We never used to hand.
Now, Pac, if you love Pac so much, how you with the mother that everybody say got something to do with the first get down that happened to Pac in New York, then the second one.
What you think about Suge comments? And I never asked you this before, but did you have an issue with Snoop hanging out with Diddy after Tupac got killed?
I always felt that was wrong. I'm gonna just keep it real. I'm talking about from that. Like now, okay, you know what I mean? I'm 46, Snoop probably early 50s. If he figured out now, he might go by the opinion that, okay, Puffy had nothing to do with Pac. You know, we grown now. If he want to be his friend, no problem. But back then, that was just awkward. You know what I mean? And the reason why it was awkward to me that I never even like it because you knew how Pac felt about this individual. You know what I mean? Even if you don't agree with him, you probably could have said, you know what, I probably ain't gonna come out, you know, publicly with this because until things clear up, so I really know I could be certain that, you know, they didn't have nothing to do with Pac. But it's like, it was no, you know, okay, it is what it is. So that I never really respected that back then.
So you had an issue with it. You didn't like it.
Never really liked it. It just was a strange look because you was Pac boy. You know what I mean? Puffy, you know, it's clear they had some issues with Pac. And Pac died and all of a sudden you chilling with Puffy. Back then it just, okay, now you can say what you want. You all grandfathers, I guess. You know what I mean? That's different now. But back then I think it was weird, it was tasteless. You know what I mean? It didn't seem like you really had that much love for Pac. You could have just, you know what I mean? Unless he pressured them or like questioned Puffy, like, yo, what's up with this? What's up with that? Then you could say, you know what I mean? I believe somebody mentioned that they seen a video with me and the dude Prodigy or one of the dudes from ID, as if I was with, they don't know the backdrop of that. I went to his hotel room ready to fight. Like, bro, I'll fight everybody in that room one-on-one. Even if I lose, it doesn't matter. The Outlaws was with me. My homie Tiny, the Mexican homie, was with me. I didn't go there and say, let me get in a video with these guys. I went there knocking on their door, doom, 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 tell them dudes to come out. What's up with y'all? What's up with you and Pac? You got a problem with Pac? Because we could just fight like man to man, face to face, and then shake hands. That was my approach with them. But when they told me they didn't have no problem, I don't mind being with you. You know what I mean? I don't mind shaking your hand because they told me they had love for Pac. So that's different. You know what I mean? If he come out and say, well, I already, I questioned Puffy about it. I believe that he didn't, he loved Pac. That's my opinion. I can move the way I want to move. So when people try to, I noticed somebody, I think on your page do that. Well, Napoleon was in the video with Mobb Deep. They don't know how I got in that video with Mobb Deep. You know what I mean? I pulled up on him but I'm the type of person, I never been a bully type of person. You know what I mean? If I talk to a person like a man and they tell me face to face, look, I got love for Pac, I'm comfortable to know if I can look in their eyes and if I believe what they said, I have the right to say, okay, no problem. I believe you. You know what I mean? And maybe that's what Snoop went through. I don't know. But let the people know because it was too early back then. Pac just had died. You know what I mean? Like he had the right to say, the reason why I'm rolling with Puffy, I questioned him about my homie. He gave me this answer. So then he did what he had to do. But it just, you know what I mean? I never really agree with that, to be honest. The same way I couldn't be on the stage with him. When they wanted to do that tribute, I just couldn't do it. Like I really felt in my heart, like, man, I can't believe it.
Diddy was doing a documentary thinking he was going to come out triumphant.
Yeah, I didn't know that's how this started, is he started filming himself and getting this footage because he thought he was going to beat everything. Okay,
Diddy
that makes sense. Okay.
Has a relationship
with Netflix. I knew that.
With
Ted Sarandis. I saw that. Yes. Okay.
And he's filming it there. But of course, when you get, obviously it wasn't a clean sweep on the prosecutor's side, but you're still going to prison.
Yeah.
He basically kind of scraps it. It's not also Netflix is saying, because they commissioned it, right? Netflix is saying, all right, cool, just turn over what you got. And what we'll do, we'll make it what it is because we're just following reality. Diddy's like, well, hold on now. If I lost the case, I'm down to still do it with you, but I got to be able to control it. Now, Diddy was probably going to kind of shape this doc to make it look like, hey, this was malicious prosecution. They kind of went really hard at me. Mm-hmm. I'm not a perfect guy, but I am a good guy.
Yeah.
And Diddy was like, I need to be able to craft it. And Netflix was like, no, you're not. And he's like,
well, my question is, did he sign the footage over to Netflix so they own it? Mm-mm. Like, how were they able to do this without his?
No, but he didn't pay for it. So essentially, they're calling it a payment error. Oh. So essentially, the deal falls apart, or he's like, yeah, we're not going to do this.
So awkward.
And the people who did the work that have all this footage, they're like, so wait, you told us to film because this is going to be on Netflix. Now you're saying Netflix doesn't exist and we're not getting paid because Diddy was going to pay with Netflix money. And Netflix realized this and they went to the filmers and said, hey,
we're going to look at this through the prism of a modern day rhetorical genius. A modern day rhetorical genius. We're talking about the one, the great, the 50 Cent. All right. This guy's skill at rhetoric is absolutely next level. And this totally ties in with, how he famously is a big fan of Sun Tzu, The Art of War. Now, rhetoric with a capital R, I can just give you the definition of that. That's basically public speech, particularly public speech that is to persuade. Any persuasive public speech is rhetoric, right? Now, we kind of break that down into two subcategories of rhetoric with a lowercase r and dialectic. Rhetoric is essentially everything else. And really, what moves the needle with like 97% of people and 100% of groups, okay, is, in fact, rhetoric with the lowercase r. So again, stuff like this, 50 Cent is an absolute master of. Basically, he dropped this doc, this 50, this Sean Puffy Combs doc, and it's just kind of set the internet on fire. It's beating out Stranger Things. Like, it's a wild ride to watch, right? And one of the things that he does is he breaks down Diddy's character on Diddy's own terms.
Because he wanted them to, both Suge and Pac.
In the car?
They only Pac, and they don't Suge. So allegedly, they got paid $500,000. The $500,000 was paid to the guy on the right all the way to the right. You see the guy on the right?
Corey.
He's the one allegedly that got the $500,000, and that money never went to Keefe D or anybody else. The guy on the left is the one that stole the
chain,
the chain, which was a Death Row Records chain. That's a way of saying I got your rapper's chain, because if you were one of the guys, Death Row. So long story short, this whole thing is a recording that he said this. So what does Diddy do? Rob, can you pull up this song? It's a song called Black Rob, featuring Mark Curry and Mario Winans. If you can just type in lyrics, okay? So he gets $1 million. Can you go to the lyrics? And Diddy's in the lyrics when he gets started. Go a little bit lower. Boom. Can you type in the word in there, Rob? Nice guy. Type Control F, nice guy. Okay, right there. Look at it's 1999. No more Mr. Nice Guy. Been nice too long. I'm just gonna start making y'all
blank
disappear. Man, first I'm gonna take your records off the radio. Then I'm gonna erase your social security number. Take your birth certificate out flies. I'm gonna do your whole effing family. Ain't nothing but mercy. And then, by the way, in the lyrics, he says, I'll drop $1 million on your head to erase you. Can you type in, I'll drop $1 million, just put Control F. Just go to Google and type this out. I'll drop $1 million on your head. I'll drop $1 million on your head, and just put Diddy next to it. Right there. See, it says Black Rob. What song came up?
Phrase.
I'll drop $1 million on your head. Erase you and your whole family, biatch.
Wow.
He's saying it in the song on what he did to get rid of Tupac.
What an idiot.
For being out there and allowing Misa to come out there to make money, however she was doing it, to feed her family. He vowed down that it's like, yo, I ain't never f***ing with her again, and I ain't never f***ing with him again. Puff and Suge had a conversation behind the House of Blues about was we all right, and Tupac was alive. Tupac wasn't dead. So if it was a war, Suge ain't having no conversation with Puff about we good. I know he could be doing the Hoboken hustle, trying to fool a brother. But had he killed my man or something like that, I wouldn't have no conversation with Puff. I'd been like, yo, you know what y'all niggas done? You know what happened? And it wasn't no conversation like that, brother. It wasn't no conversation whereas that, Suge made Puff feel like I'm going to get you a payback for what happened to Jake. This was more so that Puff, for whatever reason, Suge, for whatever reason he was mad at Puff, and Puff, for whatever reason he was mad at Suge, it was between them two. It wasn't no whole East Coast wanted the West Coast dead, and the West Coast wanted East Coast to dead, because they still was going out, still chilling, still at places with each other. It was Bad Boy, and it was Death Row. It wasn't no East Coast and no West Coast. West Coast dudes were still coming out on the East Coast getting love. East Coast niggas was still going out on the West Coast getting love. It was Bad Boy versus Death Row. And that's what it was, bro. And it was because of the two CEOs. But Suge tried to straighten it out. I got to get at the Suge. The Death Row East Coast, the Death Row East was going to bring in Eric B. It was going to bring in Big D. And those brothers was from the East Coast. So now they was looking for a representative to come to the meeting from Bad Boy so they could straighten out this between Pac and Big and Death Row and Bad Boy. And Puff is the one who refused. Puff is the one to refuse to send a representative or either come himself. And got mad at Zip and them because they were in the Mirage on 57th Street partying with Suge Knight. Got mad at them. And Zip hung up the phone on him behind that.
So what you mean by more?
So I don't know where you get all the extras from, but they had a conversation at the hospital and all that. That's absolutely not true. Say less, if you know what I mean. But instead of just saying less, since I've been in here, Snoop and other people been having people trying to bail the guy out, Keefy D, because he talking too much. Raising them trying to do stuff for Puffy because they say he talking too much. They even had somebody talk to me and say, hey, you can help him get free. I said, look, I don't have nothing to do with none of that, and I'm not leaving prison to go to nobody county jail. To the point they were saying, well, you can't leave and sacrifice a little bit in the county jail to stop that black man from getting life. Hell no. I ain't wishing bad on him at all because I don't want to see nobody go to prison. And like I told you last time, since I find out more details about certain things, I probably would go to the Vegas County Jail if me and Keefy D with Sellies. We have a good conversation after I give him, six upside his head, another 6 in his body, and another 2. But yeah, that's different than happened with Snoop didn't go to the hospital. That's a lie.
Doing my workout box. Sure, you right. History would repeat itself. Cause nigga, you wasn't the only nigga in the room, nigga. You wasn't by yourself. It was other people in the room too. I'm not gonna say no names because like you said, we don't talk. So why you on here talking? Let that go, man. And as far as Snoop and Corrupt writing my album, you ask them niggas that. Them niggas ain't wrote my album. Corrupt helped me with Do You See? Snoop helped me with This DJ. Other than that, everything else I wrote. So that's where you wrong at again. And as far as the tough guy, do you recall when we was at the World Club and it said Death Row and NWA? Who fired on that? Me. When you was at the Comedy Store, fighting that little buff ass at the Comedy Store, who saved your motherfucking ass? Me and C-Style. So what have I done to you? For you to launch out at me? Look, don't get mad at me, man. I ain't never done nothing to you. I wasn't signed to you. So
in a documentary, there's a couple things I'll share with you guys on what I took away from it. But Rob, maybe share the clip on how he got access to some of the footage of the documentary. Is this the one, Rob?
Yep.
Go for it.
How did you get that footage of Diddy?
I figure most journalists would not disclose their sources.
Does he know y'all have this in the doc?
I would doubt he knows.
So when this airs, that'll be the first time that his legal team, Diddy, that everybody knows that this footage is now seeing the light of day.
Perhaps. Combs' team firing back in a statement to NBC News, saying the Netflix so-called documentary is a shameful hit piece and that they relied on stolen footage that was never authorized for release. His team sending a cease and desist to Netflix.
So that doesn't mean it's not true. Of course. But they relied on stolen footage, okay, is what they relied on. And then they ask about the history of 50 and him, issue that they've had. What's the one you just pulled up, Rob?
This is where they talk about the feud, and then I also have 50 Cent talking about Diddy's reaction to the documentary.
Yeah, that's so funny. That is so funny. But watch this one here. Go ahead, Rob.
How do you respond to people who say that it's more about the disdain that you have for Sean Combs than it is for giving the victims a platform?
What they consider a pre-existing beef, right, for 20 years, right, is me being uncomfortable with him suggesting that he takes me shopping, or I looked at it like it was like a tester, like maybe you'll come play with me type of thing, right? And it's not personal.
I think it's important to also let people know that the show is not completely the perspectives of people that did not like Sean. We weren't trying to just get the highlights, the salacious details, that the real goal was to storytell. And not everyone needed to have an allegation to be a part of this project.
Yeah. I mean, so that's that part, right? The fact that the feud with the two of them, hey, let me take you shopping. Like you say that to a girl in 50s, like, what are you talking about? Take me shopping. How do you have a flipping mind? You want to take me shopping? And then last but not least, Rob, the other clip you have of 50 is talking about how he thinks Diddy's going to like this documentary. Go ahead, Rob.
Sean Combs watches this, what do you think he's going to feel?
Like, wow, this is amazing. I think he's going to say this is the best documentary I've seen in a long time.
She can't even hold it.
Because you'll see people saying that. I mean, he may feel a different way about pieces and bits of it, but he knows the truth. I think he'll see.
All right, get ready, because I'm about to tell you a story that sounds like a movie, but it's totally real. It's about a secret film, a famous music boss, a bodyguard who saw everything, and the moment a legendary rapper got the shock of his life. This isn't just some gossip. This is about power, hidden truths, and what happens when someone decides to stop keeping quiet. For a while, everyone was talking about a huge documentary being made about Sean Diddy Combs. You know Diddy, the super famous music mogul, the guy behind Bad Boy Records, a billionaire. This documentary wasn't going to be a happy celebration. Nope. It was supposed to be the real, uncut, no-holds-barred story of his life and his empire. A big streaming service, think Netflix or HBO, was making it. It had all these crazy interviews and was going to dig into everything. The famous rap wars of the 1990s, the tragic deaths of stars like the notorious B.I.G. and Tupac, all the lawsuits, and every dark rumor you've ever heard whispered about the music industry. People were waiting for it, like it was the biggest show of the year. It was finished. They had a release date. They even started advertising it. And then poof. It was gone. The release date vanished. The trailers were taken off the internet. The company just said it was postponed or shelved. But the word behind the scenes was way more intense. They didn't just shelve it. They deleted it. Like, erased it from their servers. Wiped the computers clean. Why? Well, according to tons of reports from big news places, Diddy's legal team made a deal. They reportedly paid the streaming service millions and millions of dollars, like a crazy amount, to buy the entire documentary and then destroy it. They wanted it to never, ever see the light of day. People yelled, "Cover up!" But without the actual movie existing anymore, it became just a ghost story. A scary rumor everyone talked about, but could never prove. This is where our main guy enters the story. Meet Gene Deal. His real name is Eugene Walker. Back in the 90s and early 2000s, he was Diddy's personal bodyguard. And I don't mean he just stood outside the club. He was Diddy's shadow. He was in the cars, in the studios, at the parties, in the business meetings. He saw and heard everything that happened, the good and the seriously bad. After the documentary got deleted, the story goes that Gene Deal got his own deal. Diddy's people reportedly paid him hush money. That's a big pile of cash you give someone, so they promised to stay silent forever. They bought his silence. He wasn't supposed to talk to anyone, write a book, or show any proof of what he witnessed. But then something shifted. Maybe the guilt ate at him. Maybe he got tired of the secrets. Maybe he just wanted to set the record straight. For whatever reason, Gene Deal decided to start talking. And he didn't just talk. He started showing proof on his Instagram and social media. He began posting these short, blurry, but explosive video clips. He claims these are either leaked clips from the deleted documentary itself, or from his own personal archive of videos he recorded way back when. The clips show private arguments, hushed conversations backstage, and all kinds of behind-the-scenes drama. It was like the ghost of the deleted movie was coming back to life, one little piece at a time. Now, this is where things get super wild. Among all the clips Gene Deal leaked, one was a total bombshell. It featured none other than Calvin Broadus Jr., Snoop Dogg, the coolest, most chilled-out rapper on the planet, the guy who never seems surprised by anything. Snoop and Diddy have a long, complicated history. To understand why this clip was such a big deal, we gotta rewind. Let's talk about the real beef. Back in the mid-1990s, hip-hop was split in two. You had the East Coast and the West Coast. Diddy, then Puff Daddy, was the king of the East Coast. He ran Bad Boy Records in New York, and his biggest star was the notorious B.I.G. Snoop Dogg, was the prince of the West Coast. He was the superstar of Death Row Records in Los Angeles, right beside his mentor and best friend, Tupac Shakur. Tupac and Biggie started having a huge, public, and very serious feud. It wasn't just lyrics, it felt real and dangerous. This turned into the full-blown East Coast versus West Coast war. Diddy was Biggie's boss. Snoop was Tupac's brother-in-arms. They were on opposite sides of a battle that, tragically, led to both Tupac and Biggie being shot and killed within 6 months of each other. The whole world was watching, and it was a dark, scary time. After those tragedies, the public feud cooled down. Snoop and Diddy even started working together. They made a song called Snoop Dogg vs. Puff Daddy, and have been in videos together. Just recently, Diddy was even there to help honor Snoop at his Hollywood Walk of Fame ceremony. To the public, they seemed like they had moved on and were cool. But many fans and music experts believe there are a lot of unresolved feelings and untold stories from that deadly era. What really happened? What deals were made? What was said behind closed doors? This leaked clip seems to touch on that. It's from what looks like a private, sit-down interview, probably filmed for that deleted documentary. In the clip, this isn't TV Snoop or funny Snoop. This is a serious, real, and blunt Snoop Dogg. We don't know the exact words because the full video isn't out, but people who saw it say he was speaking very honestly, maybe about the pressure of the 90s, the business with Diddy, or his true feelings about that time. It was clearly something he thought would stay private forever. Why do we know that? Because right after this clip started spreading all over the internet, paparazzi caught up to Snoop, and his face told the whole story. He looked completely stunned. His eyes were wide open. He looked shocked, confused, and for maybe the first time ever, totally speechless. This wasn't an act. He was genuinely ambushed. He believed that private conversation was buried in a vault that was destroyed. Seeing it pop up on Instagram for millions of people, it broke every rule. The king of calm was, for a moment, completely caught off guard. This one little leak blows the whole story wide open. For Diddy, it's a disaster. His plan to erase the past failed. If one clip is out, what's stopping Gene Deal from leaking more? Every single lawsuit and bad story about Diddy just got stronger, because now there's proof that real, hidden evidence exists. For us watching, it proves all the rumors were true. The documentary was real. It was as explosive as people said, and someone really did pay a fortune to try and kill it. That's a huge story by itself. For every other celebrity who gave an interview for that documentary, total nightmare fuel. Imagine you're another famous rapper, singer, or producer who sat down and told your deepest secrets for that film, thinking it was safe. Now you see Snoop's private thoughts leaking out. You'd be sweating. Your secrets could be next. A legal paper that says don't talk means nothing when the videos are already uploaded to the internet. Trying to delete that documentary was maybe the biggest mistake of all. When you try that hard to hide something, you make people want to see it 1,000 times more. It's not a movie anymore. It's a mystery, a treasure hunt for the truth, leaking out piece by terrifying piece. The hush money deal with the bodyguard, Gene Deal, literally created the very person who is now telling the world the secrets. He was paid to be quiet, but that just set him up to be the one to talk. And Snoop Dogg's shocked, speechless face is the perfect symbol of this whole crazy situation. It shows that in our digital world, you can't just erase the past. You can pay millions, you can delete files, you can make people sign papers, but the truth is like a ghost. It will always find a crack in the wall. It will always come back to haunt you. Someone always has a copy. Someone always remembers. So the story isn't really about the movie that was deleted. That's old news. The story is now about what gets leaked tomorrow. What other clip will surface? Which other famous face will be left staring at their phone, heart pounding, wondering how their most private moment just went viral to the entire planet? The vault is open. The ghost is out. And trust me, there's no closing that door now. The next chapter of this story is already being written, one leaked clip at a time. Stay tuned, because this is far from over. So, what do you think about all this? Do you believe the whole documentary is gone for good? Or is it only a matter of time before the full thing leaks? Is Snoop Dogg's shocked face the moment that changes everything? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you were as hooked by this story as I was, make sure you smash that like button. It really helps more people find these deep dives. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you don't miss a single update. This story is breaking in real time, and you'll want to be right here when the next explosive clip drops. Comment, like, and subscribe, and let's see what happens next together.